your fear is this situation that we are currently in right now, Adam. We're making a breakthrough.
So should I be paying you right now? Is this a therapy session? Hello and welcome to another edition of Theater Crude's Wildcat Wow, a series where we catch up with previous festival participants and see what they've been up to. Today's guest is Kenney. He wrote and produced Jameson and Juice, a production that was featured in our 2020 virtual festival. It was very great to catch up with him as he is very involved in the Oklahoma City theater community. He has a lot of recommendations of things for y'all to see in town. A couple of them have already passed. He talks about Comedy of Tenors at Carpenter Square. That has already passed by the time this video is posted, and also Setting the Nation Right at Third Act Theater Company. That one will have closed the day before this video goes up. I will work on getting my turnaround better so that when people make recommendations, you can actually follow through with them. But Carpenter Square, Third Act are both doing full seasons of work. So be sure to check them out and go see their next productions that we didn't talk about in this particular interview. With that all out of the way, I will just let you get right to it. Remember to visit theatercrude.org in order to learn how to get involved with our upcoming festival. Applications are open until May 24th. Or if you just want to donate, you can do that at theatercrude.org as well. And with that, we hope you enjoy another slice of unconventional, underground, and unrefined video. All right, so Derek.
Hey, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
Yeah.
What have you been up to these days?
I've been up to a lot, actually. Mid-pandemic, it's been interesting, just trying to adjust to that whole deal. I've been filming some movies lately. I just wrapped one.
Nice.
It's been great. It's called Prisoner of Love. I don't know when it's going to come out. It was directed by Lindsay Hartley, who is of some soap opera fame.
Right.
She also plays my mom in the movie, so that was fun.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Right, so you were an actor in this movie. This wasn't one that you wrote. Yes. You weren't directing this one?
No. Never directed a film. Don't know if that will ever happen. A lot of liability there. No, I've been acting right before Theater Crude. This last summer, I was also in another movie that was done by the same producers, and they loved working with me and wanted to work with me in another one. So we got it done.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I've been enjoying myself. Long nights, long nights on film sets, but I think I've been handling myself pretty well. So,
well, I guess we'll find out if they invite you back for a third film. You know,
yeah, maybe they cut it off at 2. They're going like, no, Derek, we threw you a bone. Nothing more than a second movie. We tried our best. You're lost cause, Derek.
Oh, that'll never happen.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks. Yeah.
And Jameson and Juice was such a great concept and interesting premise. And a lot of fun watching that one.
And it was a lot of fun to do. I made a conscious effort to try and stay out of the actual production side of it, because I had a lot of other things going on. But I also love collaboration, so I was happy to bring Keegan on board to direct it, and I think he did a great job. Yeah, I think it turned out well.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Are you still working with Keegan on other projects?
We're not working together. We're always seeing each other. It's a small community. Him and Christina are actually in a show running right now called Comedy of Tenors at Carpenter Square Theater.
Oh, right.
And I saw that opening night. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, a farce. So just escapism at its finest. It was really enjoyable. Yeah.
A lot of slamming doors. They got the lobster.
Oh, yes. There were so many doors.
Love it.
All the doors were slammed and elaborate Italian accents. It was fantastic. Comedy of Tenors, you may have missed it. And I am here to tell you how sad you should be that you missed Comedy of Tenors at Carpenter Square Theater.
Yeah. This is the tragedy and also the triumph of live theater. It's just so fleeting. It's there one day and the next day it's gone. If you didn't catch it, it'll never be the same. It's never
Never be
coming
the same.
back. Somebody else could do Comedy of Tenors. Won't be the same one.
Won't be the same one. Even with the same cast, it wouldn't be the same one.
Yeah.
No, I looking at that show and seeing all the running about and all the controlled chaos that was involved in that production. I doubt with even in their own production, they have the same show every night. It's just a lot of work, and it's impressive every time I see a farce like that. Is because I can understand the amount of work that goes into it, and I think they handled it very well. Yeah. Mhm.
Is Carpenter Square in their new space yet?
They are not. They're currently, obviously, like every other theater or really company for that matter. A lot of things were put on hold during the pandemic. They're still working on it. They're still in their previous space, going strong. The audiences, you know, it's at partial capacity, have to wear masks, but it's still a nice venue, and they do a really good job with it.
Yeah, I've been to see a few shows over there.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's really nice. All right.
yeah.
Yeah, you stay pretty busy with your acting, don't you?
I do. That's definitely what I have the most experience in. I've of late been trying to get more experience in directing. So these upcoming shows, as much as I love Keegan and love working with him, I may, if one gets accepted, I may dabble in directing it myself. So really excited to see where life takes me. Because I mean, I've been acting for the longest time. Now that I'm dipping my toes in directing and writing, it's whole new worlds out there. Just all these different deadlines and different requirements for the field. Even though they're all part of the same field, they're all different fields in their own right.
Yeah, each one has its own little special set of skills.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
But I mean, when you're cooped up in home, you get to write a lot. So I'm very thankful for the being cooped up in home in a weird, indirect sort of way. I'm grateful for that ability to be stuck here.
yeah. Do you have a specific process that you like to go through when you're writing?
Well, I start with where I'm getting my inspiration from, and I get it from a lot of different places. I have a very active imagination. So when I sleep, I have weird dreams. And honestly, dreams are probably where I get my ideas the most. Also, I'm just a fan of theater in general. I go and see shows all the time. If I'm not seeing shows, I'm reading plays, I'm acting in other ones. So I know the industry very well. And if something sticks out to me that I really enjoy, then I want to kind of involve myself in it as well. And that was a big part of Jameson and Juice. Is like I said, it was a production of the Agony, also at Carpenter Square Theater, that I saw that really inspired me to, man, I love the idea of infamous historical figure haunting the protagonist for seemingly no reason at all. That just stuck with me, and I thought it was so clever and so captivating, and I wanted to do something with that concept myself. So that's what came of it, and a lot of different ideas too. I was thinking one of the early iterations of Jameson and Juice, before I actually put any pen to paper, was when I had pictured O.J. Simpson haunting a white suburban family. I didn't have the motivations yet. I just knew that I wanted that kind of, a day in the life of this family that did not expect this visitor and what goes on in that process. Wasn't until, and I realized this recently because I had completely forgotten where I got this inspiration, but I've remembered it since. I started watching Better Call Saul, the spinoff of Breaking Bad, and I loved the concept of Saul being an elder lawyer and just going to elderly people's houses and helping them draft wills for them, among other legal materials that they may need. And I loved that idea. And I was so fascinated by the industry itself that I wanted to include it in a play. And then the two different ideas just combined into what became Jameson and Juice. And that's the rest is history.
Yeah,
I really enjoy what came out of it. Yeah. I have a lot of abstract, weird dreams.
So is this leading you down absurdist type productions where?
Definitely some of them. Definitely some of them. Jameson and Juice was more of a straightforward play, despite its weird
Yeah, a little
concept.
fantastical realism sort of thing.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I like that. I have recently written a show that I want to submit into Theater Crude itself because it fits within that time frame, and I think you all would be very much interested. And it's just off the wall. It may be exactly what you're looking for when it comes to what defines Fringe. It is very weird. It's very absurdist. Lots of existential pondering in that piece, and I think it would be really cool. And I'm very curious of how it would look on stage. So if we ever get to live performances anytime soon, that'd be something I'll look into.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing more about this.
Thank you, thank
Well,
you.
you got any other recommendations of things going on around town?
That's an excellent question. There's always something going on. Oh yeah, of course I have one. Third Act Theater, which you've mentioned you've gone to some of their drunk
Yeah.
classics.
Yeah.
My girlfriend is making her community theater debut in their upcoming show.
Nice.
She's gonna kill me for this, but I can't remember the name of it. It's quite a mouthful of a name, and it's a collection of short stories done all by the same author in the early 20th century. So it's an interesting concept, and I think it was a great way for the Third Act Theater to kind of cut costs a little bit, is to do those public domain shows and then just combine all these short pieces into what is essentially an anthology. And it's a full female cast, and it includes my girlfriend, and I am so excited. As I'm speaking right now, she is in rehearsal for the first day off book. She was so nervous, but I know that she's just killing it right now. I know that all the ladies are killing it over at Third Act right now at North Park Mall. So when that opens up in a couple of weeks, I think it's going to be a week from Friday is when it opens up. Don't quote me on that.
Okay. Well, I'm going to look into it. And if it turns out that there's any way I can get this video out before it closes, I will make that my new deadline for this one.
Yeah, I had to be reminded of that this isn't going to just be uploaded immediately. I don't want to recommend shows that no one's going to see until after it's closed.
I really got to work on the turnaround time and figure out exactly how long it takes to edit together a video.
Yeah, sure.
So to be safe, I've sort of bunched a bunch here early March, late February, so that I can have a decent amount of time to get over that learning curve.
Perfect.
But, if you want to come back later in the year, we can probably, hopefully, I'll be good enough that we can do the thing on Monday and it can be up on Friday. And it'll be a little bit more.
The process of learning the ins and outs of this industry is pretty tedious. If you're looking for stuff that will certainly still be going on when the show is put up, or more likely not even up yet, I've been casting a couple of shows at Jewel Box Theater, in their new location that they just opened up just a couple months ago, I think, when they did what did they do? Full female cast. Steel Magnolias. It is Steel Magnolias. I didn't get to see it, but I heard it was great. And I'm doing a couple shows with them. The one coming up is Gaslight by Patrick Hamilton, a classic show from the 1930s. Actually, the show where the term gaslighting came from.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I learned that recently as well. So I'm excited to be a part of that cast. It's going to be really awesome. And when we open that, while I'm running that show, we start rehearsals for another show at Jewel Box called The Vultures. It's a brand new show. I can't tell you the author of it right now because it's so new, but it will be an Oklahoma debut. It won a contest at Jewel Box. So it's gonna be fun, and I'm gonna be on stage with my girlfriend in that one. So it'll be fun working alongside Meredith. So yeah, and I'm excited. I'm staying busy.
Yeah, I love it. I love hearing that you're staying busy, even with the COVID and everything being topsy-turvy. Derek knows how to get work. That's great.
It's great. I'll tell you if it's still great after the fact or when it's going on. I've never I shouldn't say never, but there's been few times where I've had to be rehearsing another show while a show I'm already in is running. So that's just memorization in general
Mhm.
is gonna blow my mind. But I'm grateful to be a part of both of those casts. Richard Lemin is directing Gaslight, who I worked with previously at Jewel Box, and a lot of friends that I know are going to be working with Gaslight, who also worked in that previous show with Richard Lemin. So it's gonna be fun. I'm really excited to be a part of it, and I'm really excited I'm getting work. There's periods of time in every actor, director, writer's career where they wonder, I'm doing nothing right now. Is this really what I need to be doing with my life? But as things started to cool off in the whole um, COVID scene, I'm grateful that the industry is still staying strong. I think that's really encouraging, not just for my sake, but for everyone's sake. People
Yeah.
need the arts. They do.
Yeah. Well, and artists need to make it, try and stop them. Like
Yeah.
a global pandemic here couldn't even stop people from making art. They found a way.
They found a way. I started doing this writing thing while there was a pandemic going on. Look what it did to me. Completely ruined my life. I'm a writer now.
Yeah. With dreams of becoming a director. Ooh.
Yes, yes.
Ooh.
The goal in my life, and when this goes up, my plans will change possibly. But the goal in my life is to get into grad school so I can get my master's so I can teach. And when I teach, I can direct, as it's likely going to be a requirement for me to direct in a theater program that I'll be teaching in, but also write and act on the side. It's the dream, right? Doing all the things you love to do, but also get paid a living wage for it. It sounds phenomenal. And I love teaching too. I'm not just getting into it because I think because I'm a sellout or anything. No, teaching is great. I just the whole concept of talking with like-minded individuals about this industry I love so deeply um, just excites me so much. It's something that I've always wanted to do, and I've dabbled in it before, not at the collegiate level, but I enjoy it wholeheartedly, and I'm excited to see when or if I can get to a grad program and start that first step into that process.
Nice. Well, we'll be rooting for you. Hopefully
Thank
you
you.
find that program. Uh,
I am on. I keep mentioning Meredith, my girlfriend. She has so many weird things on her desk. Can you tell me what this is?
an alien of some kind?
Is it an alien of some kind? There's no mouth. It's like it. Oh, sorry. Let me lift it up. There's no mouth. It's like it's sewn shut or something. It's ceramic, so she may have made it herself. I have to question her about this. But
Okay.
there's just so many odd things on this desk that I keep eyeing when I'm talking to you. We've got a Sensi here. Um, I thought it was green apple. It smells like green apple. Sea salt and avocado is what it
Oh,
is.
okay. I would have, like, I've eaten plenty of avocados in my life. I don't know
Sure.
that I could say I know what one smells like.
Yeah, they don't really have much of a scent. Smells like green apple, evidently.
Yeah, once you sprinkle some sea salt on it,
Yeah,
it turns into a green apple.
that's the trigger. Once you add that sea salt, it's just straight green apple. Who knew? Now we know where green apples come from.
Yeah, Sensi knew. That's who knew.
Sensi had all the secrets this whole time.
So is it all the weird stuff on the desk that leads to your weird dreams? Are you just soaking in all of
It
these
could.
objects subconsciously all day long?
That would explain a lot. I'm grateful to be in a relationship with such a creative woman that also inspires me to do my own creative work. So she's a writer herself. She works in for the government, but she has a degree in English and loves to write, especially short stories. So she has definitely been someone I've came to when it came to grammatical questions. and I'm and there's been times where I've been thankful that she's there to help correct me, and there's times where I hate the fact that she's there to help correct me because then I get the urge to go back and change everything, and I torture myself over it. But she's certainly been a help to me in my writing, so I'm
Hmm.
thankful for her.
Grammar has no place in dialogue.
Yeah,
People don't
I've
speak
heard
with
that
appropriate
everywhere.
grammar.
I've heard that everywhere, but there's so many different grammatical things you could do to sell how you want someone to say something. So it's helpful to know those grammatical points. For example, double dash. I never use them, but it's a very common trope in playwriting or just writing in general to have a double dash because it's your everyman's punctuation point. Essentially, it can be in place of a comma or a period. It essentially just indicates a change of thought, which I prefer to do with a comma or period myself anyway. But it's a fascinating thing that I'm learning as I continue to progress in my own writing, is all the unique grammatical tools people use to display their work. But also, it's worth noting in this very broad industry that we're in, there's no golden goose way to write theater. And I love that, because even the mistakes can be helpful to get something across. There's no perfect direct way to do a play. If you're not doing realism or naturalism, you can do something more abstract like absurdism. I know that mumblecore is progressively becoming more and more popular, which is considered to be the most conversational of all conversational dialogue, with all the ums and ands as you can imagine. So there's just such a broad spectrum of what is theater these days that you can't really, it's really hard to get something wrong. And part of the thing about this one act play that I wrote that I really want to submit unto your festival, that is a very absurdist piece, I wrote it initially just because I wanted to write. I didn't have a goal in mind. I just love the idea of just writing because I love it. Writing for fun, for pleasure, not caring about plot, not caring about character or relationships or where it's going to end up. Just writing because it's something I love to do, and that's what I was able to do with this show. And I'm proud to share it with somebody, even if it isn't Theater Crude. I'll still love you guys. I'll still be your friend. But it's something I'm proud of, and I'm excited for people to see and or hear it.
Yeah, it is great to hear that you write just because it is a good outlet for you. It's not a chore for you yet.
No, not yet. And I think the reason I wrote that show is because it did start becoming a chore. Like I said, I went back and started making grammatical corrections all of a sudden to all these plays that I thought were done like years ago. But now I needed to change them because I did something wrong grammatically that I realized. So I realized that when that became such a chore, I was no longer enjoying it. So this play, which is titled Man in a Box, creative title. No,
is it about a man in a box?
How'd you know? Who told you? Yes. That is essentially what it is. Exactly. It was a play written out of pleasure and just the joy of writing theater. And when I was writing it, I was also going through some emotional points in my life with self-doubt. Why aren't the grad schools interested in me? That kind of stuff. So it was also an outlet to get through those emotions and get through those insecurities I had in myself. So it's autobiographical at parts. It's just pure, unadulterated, unashamable filler at parts. Mm-hmm. But it's unmistakably mine and exactly what I wanted from it. And I'm so happy with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you have any philosophical thoughts you want to wax on about theater, or do you just want to talk about what movies you've been watching lately?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I don't know about philosophical. When I wax philosophical, it's often unwanted. I do it at the most strange of times.
So when you're invited to be philosophical, you get stage fright. You know, no. I'll wait until you don't want me to tell you, and then
I will be
Gonna
so
kick down the door like the Kool-Aid man. Let me tell you about my thoughts.
It sounds so cliche. If you want to get philosophical about theater, I'm just gonna have to say that it matters. That people need it. It's an outlet for a lot of people. For a lot of people, it's just one of their favorite sources of entertainment. I'm on both of those categories myself, but it is important. And there's been a do you recall back in the day when people thought that theater was dying because of the film industry? You can't,
Yeah,
because it didn't die.
I feel like that's been the continuing conversation as long as I've been
Exactly.
involved in it. Everyone's like, oh, get
And
ready.
nothing
It's
has
dying.
peeled it off to this point, which should tell you that for better or worse, probably for better, this industry is staying where it's at. Post COVID, theater's still going to be around. When programs, whether it be high school or college, have their budgets cut or just are cut out entirely, their theater programs, it's still going to be around. It's not going to be erased from this society. And for somebody who wants to work in this industry professionally, who is working in this industry professionally and wants to do so even more so in the future, that's really reassuring that this thing that I love is just not going to die, no matter how much you kick it. So that's my theater philosophy for the day, I suppose.
I love the optimism.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. Well, we've got a good chunk of time under our belts. I think I got plenty to sift through. Unless you got anything else on your mind.
Nothing other than thank you. Thank you for giving people locally the opportunity to share their work. Thank you for adding another theater company to the industry in our little, relatively small theater arts community. Thank you for everything you do. I think there needs to be a lot more people like you who make companies like you. And thank you. And thanks for being my friend, Adam. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for being my friend, Derek. And thank you for continuing to make art, being a performer, writing, just all those things that means that I can just say, I want to produce a festival of theater and then find people to make theater for me. It's kind of cool.
It's we've unlocked something in you, Adam. We found that you're not really an artist. You're just super controlling. You just play for me, my children.
Yeah, I just wandered around Oklahoma City going, this theater isn't weird enough. Somebody make me strange theater.
I love that. I come from a theater department in my undergraduate where several of our faculty had backgrounds in weird abstract things, like Cato Bus. You know Cato Bus.
Yeah.
He's trained clown, an absurdist clown, not a party clown. and also absurdism in general was a mainstay at UCO Theater Arts. So it's fantastic that you're giving a catalyst for some of those students who are local to go out and actually do some of these things that they've been learning about. So kudos to you, and thank you.
All right. Well, I feel like I need to make a shout out to all the grad schools that are eventually going to see this. This Derek. Get him in your directing program.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah.